Okay, good day. So this would be the report on the trends and issues in the cruise line industry. The cruise line industry has been affected so much and greatly affected by the COVID-19 pandemic. And this presentation will inform us the effects and the impacts of COVID-19 to the cruise line industry. The topics and highlights of this presentation is the trends in the cruise line industry and the activities for sustainable tourism, and of course the fleet for the future. The the cruise line industry took immediate and aggressive action in response to the emergence of the COVID-19 public health crisis, working under the guidance of the international and national health authorities at every step. So we have here um, three immediate actions that the cruise line industry has put the people first. In the cruise line industry, there is an immediate response. The cruise line industry announced the first changes to its public health policy at the end of January 2020. Within 24 hours of the World Health Organization's initial declaration of public health emergency. And then we have the suspension of operations. By mid-March 2020, the cruise line industry um, and its of course its member voluntarily suspended the cruise passenger sailings worldwide, making the cruise industry one of the first and only industries to temporarily pause commercial operations in the interest of public health. And then the crew repatriation. The cruise line industry defied the odds and overcame unprecedented challenges to repatriate over 100,000 crew, uh, its members, often via a ship due to commercial air travel restrictions and other barriers. And then we have the expert management. The expert management, the cruise industry sought the insights and guidance of leading scientists and public health experts to help plan for a responsible return to the passenger as service. And then, of course, the enhanced protocol. The recommendations of outside experts helped inform a set of enhanced protocols for the cruise line industry. Um, Ocean going members that address the entirety of the cruise experience. And then there is also a continuous evaluation. The cruise industry will continue to engage with leading experts and public health authorities to make appropriate adjustments as conditions change and new advancements are made. The cruise line industry has also embraced rigorous and science backed measures to help protect the passengers, its crew, and the host community, and of course, a destination, and support a phased resumption of passenger operations during the health emergency. First initiative or the activity is the embarkation and testing, wherein the passengers and the crew are tested, all of them 100%. And then there are also additional screenings. Next is there is a strict um, onboard procedures like um, following and advocating the physical distancing, the requirement of mask and face shield, and of course, there should be a ventilation strategies in the cruise ships. And then, of course, we have the medical and public health. There is an enhanced communication between the cruise ship and the public service. And then there is also health evaluations, pre-arranged response logistics. And then lastly is the shore excursions that the host community and the tourist should really follow the strict protocols mandated by the local government unit and of course mandated by the World Health Organization. There should also be a coordination with the cruise ships to its port of calls or to their destinations. Denial of boarding for the violators. And then we have phase resumption. Following the global pause in the cruise operations in mid March, cruise resumed sailings in parts of Europe, Asia, and South Pacific beginning in July 2020. From early July through mid December 2020, there were more than 200 sailings. With strict protocols in place and with the approval and support of local and the regional authorities, cruise ships are gradually resuming operations around the world. The success of these initial sailings demonstrates that the new protocols are working as designed to mitigate the risk of COVID-19 among the passengers, the crew, and the destinations of cruise ships being visited. The industry is on the path to resumption in the um, in countries like the United States, Canada, Mexico, and the Caribbean, and it will be resumed elsewhere in this year, 2021. One of the defining characteristics of the cruise industry is its resiliency and optimism. Despite a challenging year in 2020, there is a reason for hope and optimism heading to the year 2021, wherein the research 74% of cruisers are likely to cruise the next few years. 2 out of 3 cruisers are willing to cruise within a year. And then there is also a 58% of international vacationers who have never cruised are likely to cruise in the next few years. So the spirit of optimism and the resiliency of the cruise industry remains because of these following facts and data. Sustainable cruising. Um, Even cruise line industry members work tirelessly to address the impacts of COVID-19. The cruise industry remained focused on its commitment to a cleaner, more sustainable future, where the cruise line industry invested in ships with new technologies and cleaner fuels to reduce carbon emissions. That's around 23.5 billion US dollars. The cruise line industry also targeted 40% reduction rate in the carbon emissions by 2030 as compared to 2008. And then there are also 24 ships committed to be powered by liquefied natural gas. So those are the um, initiatives and activities, sustainable activities done by the cruise line industry in order to respond to the sustainable development goals. And then we have the global impact of COVID-19 suspension. The COVID-19 pandemic and the subsequent pause in commercial cruise operations has devastated impacts on the cruise line community. Between mid-March and September 2020, it is estimated that the suspension of cruise operations has resulted in a loss of more than 77 billion US dollars in global economic activity. 518 jobs were lost, and $23 billion in wages dropped down. That's the impact of COVID-19 to the cruise line industry. Okay, so um, I have already discussed and shared with you the global trends of the airline, and I mean the cruise line industry. And I hope that you have learned something. Thank you for listening. Um,